They were so confident that they were winning the Super Bowl. They thought that they needed
winning the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Wow, really? Super Bowl?
Cut it. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's staying in.
So who gives a shit versus why even get up in the morning? Nothing would make me happier than this podcast to be the method through which your parents learn that there's a hole in a wall in their house somewhere.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Gentlemen.
Fellas.
Oh, that was weird.
What's up?
You thought demand was low before. We are back.
We are up to a dull roar, and that is incredible.
I was talking to my good friend. We'll call him, it rhymes with Ike. He said he learned something on the last episode, so I'm going to need you guys to tone it down because that's completely unacceptable.
I think that speaks more to Ike's poor education at his former university.
Maybe it does, but we're not supposed to be teaching.
I think it may. That's what I'm hearing.
I just saw a graphic. I just saw a graphic that put Ike's University at the top of partying. Not necessarily that impressive in academics.
Oh,
but they know it was respectable. But
hey, Ike, thank you for the listen. Enjoy these strays that you're catching randomly. Hope you're having a great day, pal.
Speaking of, we realized we've done 3 episodes. This is our 3rd episode. We realized, due to our combined low IQ, is no introduction of who the hell we are, how we are related, and what gives us the balls to go for a podcast. So to let the audience know, we are 3 hooligans who are bound by law.
We met a while ago, and we decided we enjoyed one another so much we wanted to get the government involved.
Yeah. So we married 3 sisters.
We thought there's no better way to get a cease and desist than to become a holy trinity and begin a podcast.
Yes. So for everyone's names, Joey is married to the oldest sister. Chris is married to the middle sister, and I am married to the baby of the family. And I guess we liked each other enough to have drinks together, which caused us to think we had the balls to start a sports podcast. So thought we'd let everyone know.
Lots of late night backyard drunken banter.
Yeah, we've been known to have a cigar and a bourbon or 2.
Or 4.
Yeah.
Or a bottle. Or opening a second bottle. Who knows? But I thought I would start and let you boys. So if we can establish what teams we like, what we follow. Christopher, who are your teams? Who are you bound to?
Sure. Yeah. So my diehard through my veins team is the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Attended the University of Nebraska for both undergrad and my master's program. Was lucky enough to be there as they transitioned out of being nationally relevant to a complete laughingstock, and here we are today. Then obviously the Denver Broncos.
Don't say obviously. You're from Nebraska. It should be the Chiefs, but then for some bullshit reason you went west. So don't say obvious.
Sorry. Allow me to apologize. Because I have taste, it should be obvious that I'm a Broncos fan.
There it is.
Yeah, pretty much anything Colorado for professional. Love the Nugs. Love me some Avalanche. Professional sports is all just based in Colorado, which also leads to another disappointing team to be a fan of in the Colorado Rockies, who just cannot actually spend money the way that MLB teams are required to in order to be worth a damn.
Joseph Brosa, who are you loyal to?
Well, my undying allegiance is to Thomas Edward Patrick Brady, the junior. And I thought he was
So now you're a Raider fan then?
No, God, no. What he does in his personal life is his own thing. When we're talking about sports, I have one and only allegiance, and that is to Tom Brady. He became the Patriots quarterback my freshman year of high school, and I saw every single game of his entire career in its entirety. It's a lot of money spent on NFL Sunday Ticket, and obviously massive Patriots fan. People say I'm a Buccaneers fan. I'm not a Buccaneers fan. I couldn't give a shit what they do now. There's no Tom
Not a
Brady. There's no
Baker
Rob
fan?
Gronkowski. Oh, I mean, no, actually, but that's another side story. I actually do kind of like Baker, but he makes some good progressive commercials. Other than that, I've been one of the unfortunate souls to be a lifelong Rockies fan. I'm going to get into, but I was raised a Red Sox Patriots fan. But the Rockies became a team when I was alive, so I followed the Rockies. Yes, well, because I live in Colorado, so obviously I'm a huge Nuggets fan, huge Avalanche fan, probably way more Avs than Nuggets, but obviously huge CSU Ram fan. I have no real hatred for Nebraska because we share the same unbelievable, ungodly hatred for the University of Colorado.
Absolutely.
So, and Cody, moving on to you, my friend.
You guys are talking about jokes of major league teams. I am a diehard Kansas City Royals fan. They're the only team that maybe spends less than the Rockies.
Yeah, listener, I do want it to be known that actually this podcast is intended to be monetized. The plan is to buy the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah.
And so if you wouldn't mind, kicking some cash our way, we're going to hire the actual Brad Pitt to be the manager. And, just
he learned a lot.
In the movie. He's got to be better than what they're putting on the field right now.
Well, we have to bring Jonah Hill in. You can't just bring Brad Pitt.
I don't think we can afford both.
Yeah,
I'm afraid of Jonah Hill.
He didn't get the job done without Jonah Hill. Let's make that clear.
Jonah Hill is scary. Anybody who can fluctuate weight like that and then just try to be different ethnicities at any time, just freaks me out. I just don't. I don't trust him.
Beautiful side tangent. I am a huge Royals fan. They squeezed out a World Series in 2015, unlike the Rockies, who were close. But they do this thing where they go for one or 2 years every 30. So they've had, I think, 3 winning seasons since I've been born. So let that sink in. And then also, I'm across the street is Arrowhead Stadium. I am a diehard. I bleed red.
I can't believe you led with the Royals. That's shocking.
Baseball season, but I'm a huge Chiefs fan. I was a Chiefs fan before Kelsey, before Pat Mahomes.
Who's your favorite
Colorado. Ever? Yeah. Jamal Charles.
I was going to say, man, come on. You have these jerseys all over the place. It's Jamal Charles.
Jamal Charles is the dude. Yeah, so those are my two. I'm a Mizzou fan if you go college. CSU if I have to. Love the Nuggets because Kansas City does not have a basketball team. So hopefully that helps the listener.
And I'm going to get you into hockey.
I do like the Avs. I will bet on an Avs game and scream at the television. So, and then you might ask yourself, what authority do we have to have a sports podcast? And I would
absolutely
say
none.
Absolutely none.
It turns out I
can't think of what authority would work for this, but we definitely don't have it.
I mean, it turns out that there is absolutely no threshold for starting a podcast other than an internet connection and the capability to record audio and the absolute self-confidence in the fact that people want to waste portions of their lives listening to you talk shit.
Yeah,
and turns out we check all 3 of those boxes.
No, I am completely humbled and honored that we've had 100 people listen to this, which is absolutely shocking.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
Thank you for everybody who has, and I apologize for wasting your time, but thank you for indulging in our fun dream.
I was thinking about this more. I think we are representing the group chat of everyone's life of sports. On Sunday, everyone's friend group chat is blowing up. Everyone's talking shit. Everyone's talking shit on everyone else's teams. Everyone's talking fantasy. We're just trying to hone that in. We're not trying to make anyone smarter. You know what? We hope the IQ goes down after you.
Yeah, please. I want this to be something you can just shut your brain off like watching the Kardashians.
Yeah. That's what we are. That's what we are.
Dude Kardashians over here. Yeah. Just crushing it.
Rebrand later. That's what we bring to the table. So let's jump into the sports talking for the week, shall we, boys?
Please.
But let's start with JT. He officially, we talked about this last episode. Yeah. Justin Thomas has lost whatever it was, and he did not make the FedEx Cup.
No, he did not.
And I feel terrible. But Ricky Fowler did not make it a few years in a row.
Yes.
So his career's not over like maybe we talked about last week.
That's the thing. I'm telling you, he's got to dig deep and go and talk to Ricky in all seriousness. I mean, that is the fall from grace, build back to relevance storyline that he can absolutely replicate. He's so well liked on the tour. He's so well liked by fan bases. You know the people are rooting for him. Figure out what's needed and go out and get it.
He'll be back.
Gotta hope so. And him and they're all good friends. I hope that he just takes this time just to go away, and just like, all right, get his mind right, because that's just golf is the most fickle bastard in the world, and so you can just be, there's times when I go out there and I hit a shot and I'm like, yeah, that was a PGA shot. And then
you really think that?
Yeah. And then
it's always off the tee.
Putt, all right. And then I'll 4-putt. It's just,
it's always Linehan off the tee.
For those that don't know, Joey has a Big Bertha circa 1996 with a grip that is carpet.
It's non-existent.
It's also circa 1996. And yeah, it's made out of the shag carpet out of the back of a Chrysler Town and Country.
Size of my fist. I don't know how it works, but it does.
But it goes.
It booms.
The thing goes. Also, before we go any further, what are we drinking? How could I even?
Well, at this point, it's very almost empty. So it'll have to be a refill here in a second of what, and you inspired me last week of some Bullet bourbon.
Oh, that's the good stuff. Chrissy?
I'm going with Shenanigans again. That's my go-to, like, end of the workday, gonna have one single drink just straight. It's my go-to. It's
straight. Was it
like
tough day?
home.
Tough day? No ice, just straight.
No, just Shenanigans is just that good.
Rieger whiskey. Going for our first sponsorship. And I don't even need money. Maybe they just send me a bottle. It's really
that counts.
Let's jump into the big one. I didn't want to hold you boys back too far. But the Pac-12 is non-existent after this year.
The Pac-4.
It's literally being called
the Pac-4.
Yep.
The Big 12 got bigger and saved its own ass and became a basketball powerhouse.
Absolutely.
And the Big 10 wants to meet at the flagpole at noon against the SEC.
The rich get richer. The Pac-12 is absolutely left holding their hat after just an absolute joke approach to their TV rights over the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, it was the Pac-12 network only having rights on Dish Network was one of the most ridiculous things ever. I couldn't watch any of those games. But this is absolutely, I mean, you really think about it, this is pretty awful. Think about the history that is in that conference. I mean, it's going to create it's going to create like really an interesting and awesome games to come up here in both football and basketball, because the Big 12 is now, as you said, Cody, absolutely freaking stacked in basketball. But the Pac-12, dude, we're talking UCLA basketball that dominated forever. They were called the Conference of Champions. We're talking about the Rose Bowl game with the Pac-12, used to be Pac-10, going against the Big 10, used to be, it's just, this is history that's just going to be gone. But it's just, I'm excited and I'm also sad.
So let's break it down. The Big 10 is adding Oregon, Southern Cal, UCLA, and Washington, and they are no one's leaving, so no one's getting booted. Mm-hmm. So the Big 10 just went to 18.
I can't believe Rutgers is still holding on. Yeah. Rutgers is still holding on.
And then the Big 12, they have BYU joined in 2023. BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF. So that's starting this year. That's big. Houston for basketball, Cincinnati for football. BYU is pretty solid at.
BYU's been
UCF is absolutely deserving of an opportunity in the Power Five. They have more than proven themselves, and the fact that they were still at a lower tier until this year is absolutely ridiculous.
And then joining in 2024, we have Arizona State, Colorado rejoining the Big 12.
I love that.
And then leaving next year is, as we all know, Oklahoma and Texas going to the SEC. So who's left?
Is gone. I mean, it's Stanford.
The Pac-4, it's Stanford, Cal, Oregon State,
and Washington State.
Yeah.
And then they're going to look to bring in people like, hey, I don't want to dog on my own university, but Colorado State is not going to save the Pac-12. So that's not going to happen.
Are they actually trying to join?
I mean, I saw this thing that they're saying all this crazy crap, like all these different people going in there and just trying to hodgepodge San Diego State, basically turning the Mountain West into the Pac-12.
Pretty much. But
Yeah,
didn't SDSU say no to the invite before into the Pac-12?
I think it was they saw this train wreck coming.
Yeah. And so the Pac-12 just thinking like, oh, we can just poach away whoever we want from the Mountain West. Also, the last time we did this before the dumpster fire started, they said, thanks, no thanks.
Yeah.
It's just peak. Like, this is exactly the mindset that got them into this position of just thinking that they are still the conference of champions, despite the fact that, like, I mean,
they're not.
So is the Mountain West about to get dismembered to save the Pac-4?
I don't think so. I think the Pac-4 is just going to become defunct. I mean, I don't know how it's possible.
How do you not want Stanford? Where does Stanford go?
Probably independent.
Do they have the market to do it?
No, not a chance.
I mean, does BYU have the market to do it?
I think
there you go, crickets. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, come on, guys. Notre Dame's going to join the ACC, which is stupid. They should be a Big Ten team. They're everything about them.
They've already been playing in the ACC in basketball, and
I know,
so
but I care about football.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
We only care about football.
No, I care about other things. But,
this is a football podcast.
Yeah, mostly football.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Moving on to Bryson DeSandouche. Shot at 50-8. That happened.
I don't. That's just proof of what a stupid ass mental game golf is. Because like if Bryson DeChambeau can go out and shoot a 58 after looking like absolute water trash in the past several majors, and I mean that's insane that he was able to put that together.
A 58. I've never even seen those two numbers.
I was pumped on 87 on 4th of July. I was pumped. Took a screenshot of it, sent it out to everybody. Can you believe it?
And then we realized it was 1,000 yards too short.
Cody, we don't need to talk about that. All right, we don't need to talk about that. All right, whatever.
Shout out to Mad Russian.
Played the course.
Shot an 84.
You played the course as it was presented to you. I like that, Joey.
Shot a 58. He won the live event. I don't care what tour it was on. He shot a 58 and he won a tournament, and he won a lot of money. So,
oh, really? Bryson DeChambeau got a lot of money from live? No way. Stupid Saudi.
I mean, that's fantastic. It's a bit like being excited about how well the Harlem Globetrotters score.
Hey, they dropped 120 on the Ambassadors. Did you see that?
Didn't even have a chance.
Or the Generals. The
Ambassadors.
The Ambassadors are like their minor league team. The Harlem Ambassadors. I'm serious. They came to my high school. They were actually really fun. But yeah, the Harlem Ambassadors. They're literally like they're like warm-up crew.
See, the blind confidence in me thought you knew something I didn't. That maybe there's a second team that the Globetrotters play.
3, 2, 1.
The NBA awarded Seattle and Las Vegas the next NBA franchises.
Is that official?
That is, and Kansas City got shafted.
I want Kansas City hockey first. I think they're a hockey town. I think they're better suited for that.
I would love to see something more Midwest.
I want to see Kansas City hockey. I think Seattle should have never have lost their team. Supersonics. They better name them the Supersonics again. If they don't, I'm going to be so pissed.
Why would you not?
They have to. And then they could do whatever the hell they did with you guys remember the Bobcats?
Yes.
That weird shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Name their first round draft pick. Name it. When they were the
Emeka Okafor.
Yeah. You got it.
Oh
hell
my God.
From UConn.
Wow. Yeah. Their best player in their franchise history was Gerald Wallace. It's like, what? Bobcats. So then wanted to change back to the Hornets. And then that was when the New Orleans Hornets changed to the Pelicans. And so then they just completely erased all of the history of the Bobcats and apparently gave that to the Pelicans. And then now the Hornets are just are just the Hornets as the same as they've been since the 90s. So like it just makes no sense.
Should have been the Charlotte Airmen from the beginning.
Oh, that would be so cool.
With
but
Michael
I
Jordan
think
owning it.
Seattle should do that. They should just say, we're the Supersonics. Give us back our history with that. You guys can take everything from OKC.
3, 2, 1.
All right, how worried are we about Joe Burrow's very vague timeline of return?
I think it was something more, man. Did you see the video? They said it was a calf strain. That looked Achilles to me.
They're not, and they've said several weeks, and they've stuck to it. They have not given. Normally, calf strain I think is 4 to 6 weeks. Jamar Chase just said take 10 weeks off. We'll see you in the second quarter of the year.
Who is their backup?
Bronco boy.
Brandon Allen?
No, the Broncos guy. Who's your starter?
Oh, Teddy Two Gloves?
No, the one before that.
Case Keenum.
One before that.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Trevor Siemian.
Siemian is still in the league.
Oh, my God, dude. What is Jamar Chase?
The pride of Northwestern.
Jamar Chase thinks that he's just like, hey, we're cool. Come see us in week 6. Like, oh,
that's what he's saying. But
God, no.
They're going to be,
they could be like 2-4. I mean, I love Trevor Siemian. They're not good enough to have a game manager. They need somebody to get the ball to Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. They're stacked. And Joe Mixon, the D. Veer, isn't going to be able to carry the team the whole time.
You're thinking it's more severe.
I think it is, dude. If Jamar Chase is saying that, it's got to be bad, but they can't be going in thinking that they're going to be able to contend. I mean, the North is going to be good. As much as I don't want to say it, the Browns might be pretty good. The massage expert is coming back, and he played what, 6 games last year, and then I think the Ravens are going to be really good this year. I think Lamar Jackson is going to come out in the mission. The Steelers, who knows? Mike Tomlin's such a good coach that they're just going to they'll probably go 9-8. I don't know. If the Bengals think that they're going to be able to do that, they're stupid.
They're hot shit. They think they're hot shit right now, just based off of.
I mean, recency bias all over the place, but like they've got reason to think that they're hot shit right now. They have been. Yeah, I think we're looking at something serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't need to see a second of training camp or the preseason. He's already good. The chemistry with his receivers, his knowledge of the offense, no problem. Just step in, you'll be fine.
And they've won in Arrowhead, so they really are just like, get to the playoffs, we'll figure it out. They have that.
Burrow had my ass.
Was that game?
Yeah, I know you were. Oh, you son of a bitch!
You had to convince me to go.
And you didn't want to go. I was like, you didn't want to go. Oh my God!
It was so cold. It was 25 degrees with a 1,000,000-mile-an-hour wind chill. But damn it, we were tailgating there at noon, and I couldn't feel my feet by 7 o'clock.
3, 2, 1.
The Mets traded Max Scherzer and Verlander in a 5-minute span after going all in for about 15 minutes of the year.
Awesome. This is one of my favorite timelines, or one of my favorite stories from this last week. It's one of those where it's like, yeah, teams they ebb, flow, rise, fall. Like not every single team can manage the consistent rate of output of a team like the Oakland Athletics. But what makes it fantastic is a short 2 years ago, the Mets were caught at practicing their World Series win celebration.
Oh,
you guys remember that?
I don't, but that sounds so Mets.
2 years ago was filmed. 3, 2, 1. Everybody throws up their gloves. Everybody runs to the pitcher's mound. Everybody jumps up and down and hugs. They were so confident that they were winning the Super Bowl. They thought that they needed
winning the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Wow, really?
The
Super Bowl?
Cut it. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's staying in.
This was a team that was so confident they were winning the World Series that they thought they needed to orchestrate their celebration, and now they are putting an absolute fire sale on anybody who is worth a paycheck.
Are you more surprised that Johnny Manziel didn't watch any film or Jamarcus Russell didn't watch any film? What surprises you most? It just came out in the Johnny Manziel documentary. He watched no film. Are we shocked?
No,
Not
I
at
think
all.
probably
Are you
because
kidding me?
I think you could probably say more shocking with Jamarcus also as we don't know anything about him, but it's also not shocking because that dude just absolutely gave up after getting paid. He had his $50 million signing bonus, and then he just said, I'm done. I am not watching tape. I'm not lifting weights. I'm gonna get fat and I'm gonna sit on this 50 mil. It's insane.
Hey, he won at life, and then he went off the grid. He won. I'll give him that.
I don't know. Is he alive?
Oh,
He got so fat, like fat.
What do you mean fat?
Like,
define fat.
Yeah, I would also like to know what that means.
I don't even sound bad saying it because all this controversy. You're like Lizzo fat and like fat. It's just like he's like, oh no, what happened?
He is 38 years of age. He ran a 4.8 40.
That's it. He's barely older than me. What the hell?
260 was his weight.
Good Lord.
That's
a big dump truck.
That is a
That's
monster.
Chris, I have a stat of the day. Would you want to read our first sponsor?
Oh, we thrown to ads?
Yes. What do you got?
Yeah, we have our first actual sponsorship today. Today's episode of the Juice Boys Show is brought to you by Harbaugh brand khakis. Whether you're needing something formal for your upcoming deposition for murder charges against one of your D linemen, or looking to dress down with some easygoing cleats for a visit to a high school recruit's home, Harbaugh brand khakis have you covered. Built tougher than the 2012 Ravens defensive line, while feeling softer than the 2022 Wolverines secondary when trying to stop the Horned Frogs in the CFP semifinal, and all at a price so affordable, even Lamar Jackson can't hold out. Harbaugh brand khakis, built to last for a lifetime contract.
You're telling me they gave us that script? That's the ad they submitted to us?
That's incredible. Thank you.
Jim
Thank you,
dropped
Harbaugh.
that off this morning. Jim himself.
Hopefully the
And then he asked for a glass of milk.
he's got time with his suspension. He's got time.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah.
3, 2, 1.
All right, we're going to enter into pop culture for the first time. I know everyone's saying, whoa, boys, stick to your
Stick to what you know. There's been two whole worthwhile hours of sports. Why branch out now?
Yeah.
We can't bet on pop culture. There's no juice. There's no juice in pop culture.
This actor had the opportunity to be in 3 movies. One was Indiana Jones, the other was Forrest Gump, and the other was Santa Claus. Who was the actor who had the opportunity and said no to them?
Tom Cruise?
No.
It's a good guess, though. But I think he was too young for
Indiana Jones would have been before his time, but the other two are kind of in his
Robin
wheelhouse.
Williams.
That's a really good guess, but no. Robin Williams as Santa Claus would have been electric.
And Forrest
Would have been.
Gump. But I couldn't have taken him seriously, though.
No.
There's no way I could have taken him seriously. This is I can't even do it. I was going to try to do him, and I just
I'll give you 2 more guesses.
Okay.
He's a big 80s star.
Patrick Swayze.
As Forrest Gump, with the best looking.
Hilarious. Just
Absolutely.
drop-kicking everyone in the face.
Just
Everybody who comes by, just being Dalton
walking
from
around,
Roadhouse.
just ripped out of his mind.
Your son is here, and it's Patrick Swayze. One more
I
guess.
go watching him, Lieutenant Dan. Roundhouse. Roadhouse.
What? Oh, you fucked it up. It was Roadhouse.
No. He does. I know. He does the roundhouse kick in Roadhouse. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Roadhouse.
More guess. I feel like Chris was going to get this one. I felt like Chris was going to get this.
Man, now all of a sudden the pressure's on me.
He was in a movie trilogy, Certified Goofball.
Certified goofball. That doesn't narrow this down whatsoever.
Robert Downey
Robert?
Jr.
Yeah, that was going to be my guess.
He was knee deep in cocaine at this point.
Yeah,
They wouldn't have stopped him.
You said 80s guy.
All right.
Were they not all?
I'm dying, Cody. Who is it?
Chevy Chase.
Oh, that would have been so bad. Oh my God. Chevy Chase is Forrest Gump. Jesus.
What's his trilogy? Is it the
Vacation?
Vacation?
Yeah, 3
Okay.
vacation movies.
Yeah, I guess I don't really. There's like 17 of those.
Yeah, but he was in like Vacation, European Vacation, Vegas Vacation,
Christmas Vacation. So there's 4.
4. He was in 4. He was in a
Quadrilogy?
A saga. He was in a saga.
Is that where it goes? Does it go trilogy to saga?
Chevy's cinematic universe?
Hold on, let's talk about it. Is there a saga?
Is there a quadrilogy?
But the vacation
quadrilogy?
Why don't we sprouse the internet and find out?
Oh, let me sprouse. What is a 4?
I encourage everyone to go listen to episode 2 where Joey fumbles over a word that we'll never let him down on.
Sprouse.
Go ahead and sprouse your way into episode 2. And
Okay, out of Indiana Jones, Forrest Gump, Santa Claus, which would you want to see Chevy Chase lead in?
I would just love to hear the behind the scenes like tales of Chevy Chase playing Forrest Gump, because I don't think his ego could handle.
I don't think it could. That's a good point.
I don't want Chevy Chase to be in any of those.
You'd have to say Santa Claus, right? Because it's comedy based, where you'd have a fighting chance.
Yeah, but he's
no. I want to come up with what one is the worst. I want
Indiana Jones by
absolute.
Far. He's not a
dumpster
badass.
fire train wreck.
I figured it out, guys. 4 movies is actually called a quadrilogy. So quad, RILOGY.
Quadrilogy.
Thank you, sir. That's
what I said.
I taught history, which I just told stories for a living. Okay, so thank you.
Hey, I was just winging it, and I got it right.
Yeah, Chevy Chase had the opportunity to be in Indiana Jones, Forrest Gump, and Santa Claus, and he said no to all.
I feel like it'd be fun watching Chevy Chase have to do the running scenes. He strikes me as the kind of guy that maybe doesn't like know how to run.
I've never seen him run.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen him run?
Yeah, he doesn't seem like the sort
and everything. Like think about Caddyshack. He just strolls, and that's just what he does.
Could you imagine like what a dumpster fire of a scene that would be if it turns out that Chevy Chase can't run, and so they have to bring in a body double, and so it's just his head popping up and down, and then it goes to just like little feet pattering on the ground, and back up to his head going up and down, because Chevy Chase himself doesn't know how to run,
or he runs like Josh Allen at the draft combine. It's just the straight arms flopping in the wind behind.
Bonus stat of the day. I did look up some more Randy Johnson shenanigans for us, just so we can close the loop.
That's up to Randy. What's happening?
Did the bird die? Yes, the bird died. For those,
I mean, Jesus, of course it did. It exploded, Cody. It exploded.
He could have thrown it at a polar bear and it would have died.
People were asking, was it a strike? Me and Joey talked about this. There was officially no pitch was ruled.
Okay,
that's fair. That's
fair.
Okay.
It did not reach the plate, essentially meaning the pitch never statistically happened. Jeff Kent came on the field, picked up the dead bird with his bare hands.
Of course,
signed it and gave it to a young fan.
Yeah,
gave it to a Make-A-Wish kid right behind home plate.
Randy
Stuck
Johnson,
in some Florida kid's matted hair.
Randy Johnson, his quote is, "I didn't think it was that funny."
Well, I did. I thought it was funny.
Well, Randy, we're going to go ahead and respectfully disagree with you.
Over the years, his photography logo is a dead bird.
No,
I've seen that. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That is outstanding. I love him even more. I didn't think I could, but now I do.
Mind-bending to me.
That's outstanding.
Randy Johnson, killer of birds.
Brilliant branding.
He used it for bad for that moment. So
God,
he is the 4th juice boy. He just doesn't know it.
Yeah.
If we could ever get him on this podcast, I would die.
We would only talk about that. We would not interview maybe one of the greatest left-handed pitchers of all time. We wouldn't talk about anything except
I think he is. I think
the murdering of a bird in a spring training game in 2001.
Could we please talk a little bit more about that?
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the big segment of the day, boys. Let's go. Episode 1, we went
Mount Rushmore
of
boneheaded plays.
Boneheaded plays.
Boneheaded plays.
Last week we went our greatest NFL football uniforms. We'll probably do college here at some point. Today we're switching up a little bit. We're going 3 sports moments for each of us you wish you could relive. Now the parameters we set had to be alive.
Oh yeah.
Chris, let's start with you. We'll go around the room for 3 sports moments you would want to relive.
All right, let's go for it. First moment, fall of 2016, right after I had first moved to Colorado. One of my best buddies, also Ike.
Does it rhyme with Ike?
It also rhymes with Ike.
What does it rhyme with Mike?
Potentially.
Or bike.
Like.
Several words rhyme. Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
Isn't it neat the way that words work?
It is.
Maybe people do learn something on this show.
There we go. There's lesson number 2 from the Juice Boys. Sometimes words rhyme.
Thank you.
Take it away.
So fall 2016, one of my best buddies brought me to a Broncos game. At the time, I really didn't have any professional sports allegiance. And he brought me to watch 6-0 Broncos face off against the 6-0 Packers in what would be the final matchup between Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
The Broncos absolutely curb stomped. They held Aaron Rodgers to 77 yards.
I remember that.
They held Eddie Lacy to 38 yards rushing.
Yeah, I remember he was supposed to dominate too. Yep.
Yeah, just absolutely top to bottom, left to right was, still not a great game for Peyton Manning, but one of his best of that season.
Eddie Lacy had more chicken wings that night than yards.
That dude was so fat. So fat.
But when you average 150 chicken wings per night, then you're gonna beat those odds more often. Hey,
150 chicken wings. That's absurd. All right, I'll tell you something.
That's
about
Joey Linehan.
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
I've heard the story of Joey Linehan and way too many chicken wings.
Yeah, that'll be the story for another time.
I think so.
Led to still ongoing problems. So.
What year was that?
Oh Jesus, that was 07, 06.
I can't imagine a meal that I've ever eaten that I paid for 15 years.
Joey, reliving sports moment number 1.
Reliving sports moment number 1 for me is my freshman year of high school. No, sorry, my senior year of high school, 2004. I was playing football at the time, and me and my dad were recording the game 3 of the Yankees Red Sox American League Championship Series. We heard on the intercom speaker during the middle of my game, they go out and say the Red Sox lost 19-3 to go down 0-3 in the series against the Yankees.
Epic.
Okay, so my number 1 sports memory that I want to relive is a combination of 4 games, 4 days in October of 2004. It was started with the Dave Roberts steal of second base and the Big Papi double in the 11th inning. I think it was the 11th inning. See if my memory serves me correctly. Winning that game. Then you had most epic series of games we've ever seen, including the Curt Schilling bloody sock game. Pedro Martinez getting his redemption after being left in, after being pulled by Grady Little, not being pulled by Grady Little the year before, and then the Aaron Boone bullshit to beat them. There's still a hole. Oh, actually, I think they patched it. There was a hole in my parents' wall. I covered it with a Todd Helton poster. After that,
so they didn't patch. They just
I don't know. I went to college. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And then Big Papi hitting home run after home run to just keep us alive, and then completing the best comeback in sports history, the only time in Major League Baseball history, and again, I'll bring it up, it was invented during the Civil War. So the only time since the Civil War that a team has come back from 0-3 deficit. So the number 1 sports memory I want to relive is the 2004 ALCS.
Nothing would make me happier than this podcast to be the method through which your parents learn that there's a hole in a wall in their house somewhere.
The Todd Helton poster's not still there.
Check for Todd Helton. You'll know.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going 7 years ago. my little old Kansas City Royals were in the World Series the second time in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom of the ninth, game 1, 1 out. The big Mets pitcher, I think it was Familia.
Yep.
Was the closer, and he was
he was
like 103 mile an hour, just
heaters.
Just heaters. He did not blow leads. 1 out. My grandpa bought us a big screen TV just for the World Series. It was the coolest thing ever.
That's awesome.
And Alex Gordon hit a game-tying home run.
Gordo, let's go.
Dude,
I remember that, dude. It was awesome.
It was to tie the game at 4. It was a bomb into the deepest part of the field at center field. Sold out Kaufman, obviously. And I remember screaming because the Joe Buck just talked up the closer so much that it was pretty much impossible to get the tie game at that point. So if I could relive that moment where Gordo bombs it, obviously the Royals won the World Series, and that's what started it, was that home run. It was electric.
I was rooting for the Royals so hard, and I'm like, I didn't even know you, but I mean,
insane.
Did I know you? No, 2015. Oh, I did. We
we knew
got
each other
in 2014. Jesus, yeah, I knew you. Yeah, so that's probably why I was rooting so hard. But anyway, yeah.
Chris, round 2.
Round 2. All right. So, my teams are so disappointing. I don't have
you went like what week 7, 6 years ago.
Yeah,
that was epic.
It was epic. I'm sorry.
That contextually was big.
Yeah.
This is less so. This was November 2018, Nebraska versus Illinois. So who gives a shit versus why even get up in the morning at Nebraska. It was about 20 degrees out. At kickoff, we had 25-mile-an-hour winds directly in our face, just in every bit of snowboarding, warm weather gear that I could possibly pack on. And it was the first time I brought my now wife to a Husker game. And I remember being like, she might not want to stick around with me after putting her through this. It is frozen. We're drinking out of my smuggled in flask of whiskey just for something to give a little bit of warmth. And I remember, her going to me about halfway through the first quarter, something like that. And she went, all right, I get it now. She's like, this is not anything like what I've dealt with or what fandom at Colorado State is like. This is its own thing.
Oh, no.
This is its own experience. She's like, I get why you're so passionate about this team. This is freaking fantastic. And so
it's the second largest city in Nebraska when it's full. So it's like, yeah, that's what?
Third largest.
Third largest. That's still
show some respect to Lincoln, Nebraska.
So you went romantic. You're gonna make me and Joey look bad now.
I mean,
I got some romance.
What else do I have? Do
Do
you want me to talk about, the Big 12 championship in 2009 where Indomitian Sue made Colt McCoy his personal pet? But then they gave them an extra 1 second so that they could kick the field goal to win.
All right, 45 minutes later, I'm on to my second pick. All right.
What do you got?
All right. We're moving on to the next one. 1998. All right. I was 11 years old. I was a major troublemaker. All right. And so I was constantly in trouble. And when you grow up in Bailey, Colorado, and there is no internet, you can't go to friends' houses because you can't walk there, and so it's just like, so what is the real punishment when you're grounded? My parents took ESPN away from me. That was my punishment when I was in trouble. And I remember the summer of 1998 was when I became the most obsessed baseball fan in the history of children. And I was so enraptured with the home run race of Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. And nobody remembers that Ken Griffey Jr. was in that race the whole season. Griffey finished with like 57 home runs that year. But I was grounded from ESPN. And this was around the time that McGwire and Sosa were both at 60. Okay. And they're right there, neck and neck. And I remember my grandfather in Boston, rest his soul, was on the phone with me, giving me play-by-play on the phone when I was forced to do my homework. because I wasn't allowed to watch the game. But I remember that when Mark McGwire was up for his 60-second home run to break the record, my dad called me out of my room and I ran upstairs and I watched it and I saw it. And I'll never forget that, 11 years old, seeing baseball history. But for anybody that actually loves baseball, that season saved baseball. And I wish I could relive that season and that moment where I was relieved from grounded to go up there and see history and watch Mark McGwire crush it. So
I'm gonna go. I was 4 years old, so I bet I was watching it, but I would want to relive it. The 1998 Game 6, Chicago Bulls versus the Jazz.
Oh, that's on my list, my dude. That was gonna be my third pick. I was so obsessed.
Because it's the most watched NBA game of all time. I think it was like 36 million people watched it.
Yep.
So I'm assuming it was on in the house. I knew it happened. The shot. I watched The Last Dance. I then realized how insane it was, and then I rewatched the entire game, and just seeing what Michael Jeffrey Jordan did that whole game, and then the last 4 possessions, last 2 minutes of the game, is the most insane. The man put the team on his back defensively, offensively, and then a way to end a career, what was supposed to be the end of a career.
Supposed to be.
To end it with that shot, to win a ring.
Was it a push-off?
No.
Was it a push-off?
Oh, his name Close.
Was it a push-off?
He crossed his feet. It was a whole thing. It was supposed to be you couldn't draw up a better way to end a career of the GOAT. Christopher, number 3.
So I'm going all sentimental with mine.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my
we're
goodness.
gonna go this way a little bit. So for our listener, showcasing something
Our listener.
Yeah.
Thank you, listener.
Yeah, for me, my tippity top selection would be July of 2021. My dad and I played in a golf tournament together at his country club, whatever, against I think like 120 other people, and wound up winning the tournament in front of a couple hundred spectators, all
golf
hammered out of their mind, in golf carts, hooting and hollering. Just an all-time moment in my life. Absolutely all-time sports moment is that moment where we won. And then, after that, I had a really cool moment. We each kept a flag from 18 and 17 where we played our playoff holes. And so when everybody else headed back to the clubhouse to go and party and celebrate and hoot and holler, we got to have ourselves a few minutes just quietly driving back to 17, just going, can you fucking believe this?
We just won.
We just did it.
Can you believe that we just won this entire freaking thing? Calling my grandpa, telling him that we won. I remember his only reaction, we expected him to be, just going nuts, was just, oh, that's cool.
That's cool. You guys did it. Good job.
He's been in that tournament. He knows how big of a tournament it is and all that.
That's
He's
cool.
Like, oh, great.
Yeah. Good for you.
What else you doing?
Thank you.
Joey,
All
pick
right,
3.
My number 3. The Patriots were down 28-3 to the Falcons.
Oh my.
And
of course,
in the Super Bowl. And so my wife hates the Patriots. Absolutely hates the Patriots. Diehard Broncos fan. Well, actually, she's a diehard Peyton Manning fan because she was raised in Indiana, as you guys know. We were from the same, not bloodline, same family.
Who is this we're talking about?
We're related?
All of you. We are one. We are together. Okay, so as we're watching this game, my wife is not watching it with me. She is watching it with her friend who is a diehard Falcons fan back at our house. And I went over to my buddy's house and watched it in the garage again with my dad and my brother and all my friends. At halftime, that was a very, 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 probably 4 more time, very bad time. And my wife called me, and her and the Falcons fan are partying, playing music, taking shots, just having a great time. And I'm outside just fuming, pissed. Then the second half started. They went up 28-3. Then magic happened. And I would say that I want to relive being in the garage with only me, my dad, and my brother, and one of my best friends, Ben. Sorry, Ben. I just named.
What does it rhyme with?
Rhymes
my
with
best friends that rhymes with Sven. Okay. We're watching it in there, and slowly but surely, Patriots start crawling back. They start coming back, and everybody else just at halftime was just, as Chris would say, hooting and hollering.
Hooting and hollering.
And then Dante Hightower came off the edge and crushed Matt Ryan for a strip sack. Patriots scored. All right. Then they come down, driving down in the last few minutes. Brady hucks it up into triple coverage. It gets dropped up and down, passed up in the air. And then Julian Edelman dives out and grabs it with his fingertips right underneath the ball with one of the greatest catches in NFL history. They go down and they tie the game. And for the first time in NFL history, there is an overtime in the Super Bowl. And the Patriots drive down, and who should have been the MVP of that game? James White. James White had 11 catches as a running back in that game. 11 catches as a running back in that game, and 3 touchdowns.
He dominated.
I wonder if
Three touchdowns, gets the shovel pass from Tom Brady off to the outside and pushes 3 dudes across the line. And the Patriots won. And me and my dad and my brother and my friend, the Rams was Sven, just went absolutely insane in Sven's garage with 15 other people who are just looking at us in absolute horror, just stunned that what the hell did we just see? That a team came back from 28-3 with only 17 minutes left in the game. That is
Joey, I need you to take a breath real quick. You look like you're about to pop.
I can't help it. I want to relive it because I can remember it exactly as it happened.
I think
right
you
now
forced out every last bit of oxygen in your body telling that story.
All right, well, I'll wrap up this segment with 2020. The Chiefs,
tell me about 2020.
Chiefs won the Super Bowl against the 49ers defense and Jimmy G.
Oh, they both came.
They did. They both. I don't even remember the score, but the
what an honor.
Dominating most of the game.
They were up by 14, right?
Maybe I think 17 for a moment.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes throws a interception. Supposed to go to Tyreek Hill. Cody McCoy turns the TV off.
That's true.
Leaves his parents' house, goes back to his place, hops in the shower because it's around end of third quarter.
Disregarding several text messages about how much of masculinity you are lacking at that moment. But go ahead.
For those to know, I'm the Chiefs fan. I'm such a big fan that I can't emotionally stand even watching the demise. So I will have to emotionally disconnect if I'm going to have a marriage. A decent
you
work
physically left.
Yes, I
it's
left.
Not
my
just that I
house.
needed to take a breather outside, take a moment, anything like that.
He left the house and drove. He drove away during the Super Bowl. People,
Yes,
all right, continue the story.
On that drive, did you listen to music?
Yes.
Oh, good
Were
question.
You
you didn't listen to the game?
Oh, no. No, I didn't
silence.
listen to. I was done. I left my parents' house. I made my wife leave. I made my wife get up off the couch.
I just
put her shoes on
imagine
and
you
leave.
just listening to the wind whistling by.
You made your wife leave with you.
Yes, I said get up.
Dude,
we're
you
going
are
home
an
right
asshole.
Now. Yes. So we went home, and she's like, "Can I turn it on?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm gonna go shower," because it was the end of the third quarter. The game was over in my mind. I take a shower. I get out of the shower with 17 missed calls from our own Joey.
Yeah, I was going ape shit.
Yes. I walk out butt naked to my wife jumping up and down, and I miss the wasp play, which is the big bomb, Pat Mahomes to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Open it up to change the whole game.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was calling you.
Yes.
Yeah. See, now, Cody, this is where we've had this conversation several times. If you are willing and ready to be a fan of a team that's going to be a dynasty, I'm ashamed of you for giving up. I've never
ashamed
given up on Tom Brady. I will never.
You have to think.
give
Pat
up on
Mahomes was
Tom
new.
Brady.
He was a new king.
No.
The
Tom Brady
history-
had won Super Bowl in his first year as a starter. All right. He took over for Drew Bledsoe in game 2.
That's
his first
fine.
game was game 3, and he won the Super Bowl. He came in, and I never doubted him.
That's
are a
fine.
poor
But you don't
fan.
have 50 years of Chiefs embarrassment going
You don't
on.
either. You don't either. You're 27 years old.
Yes, but my dad did. My brother
Yeah.
did. They all handed it to me. We
Do
came
you-
off the.
Do you take on embarrassment through
Yes.
the transitive property?
It's built into my bloodline.
Yes,
I'm
it's
born
there.
with that
It's-
embarrassment.
Shame is hereditary.
Yeah, so if I could relive that not in the shower, it might have been okay.
I remember,
Hell
when
yeah,
I,
boys,
call,
that's
I
a
remember, I
great
remember I
moment.
called you again when Jimmy G just airmailed Emmanuel Sanders. It was wide.
Yeah, I remember it was that we finally
open.
got a hold of Maggie. Yeah, you had 70 missed
Oh,
calls.
you just said a name.
texts
You just said
and-
a name. You
Who's
just said
Maggie?
a name.
Oh, whoops.
Yes, I think everyone was trying to get a hold of my wife to get a hold of me to see if I was alive, and I was still in the shower. Dang,
Yeah.
sports moments we relive. I love that. That's a great segment. I don't know
All
who came
right,
up with
I
that.
got
But
one
you got
honorable mention that we need to discuss because it included all 3 of us, and I think it was one of my favorite sports memories of my entire life. This
Do you?
was November 2018.
Honorable mention.
Both of you were there.
Let's
All right. This
go.
was the last family trip, the full family trip that we've had. We went out to Disneyland to see both of your wives and our wonderful mother-in-law dance for the last time together in
in Disney.
Disney
in like an ensemble. At Disney.
jamboree,
Yeah.
a Disney
A
jamboree.
jamboree.
During that time, there happened to be a pretty big game coming on that night with Cody's favorite, the Kansas City Chiefs. And so we were able to kind of, please our wives and get out of there, and be like, hey, if this wasn't a regular game, it'd be okay. But this is the Chiefs. This is the
It's
Chiefs.
Monday
we gotta
Night
go.
Football.
With Monday Night Football, we got to go for Cody. And so we were able to get out of Disneyland, and the 3 of us and our father-in-law went back into our
Poor father-in-law.
joint hotel room. We had
Oh, he still can't hear right
Oh,
after
so he
having
can't
to watch
still-
that game with us.
turned on the game on this 28-inch TV, and we pulled up the seats as close as you could possibly be, and probably watched the greatest regular season game in the history of the NFL. And our father-in-law got to see what Cody McCoy's real fandom is. Where he got to see the swearing and the pacing and the walking in and out of the rooms and the aggressive whiskey drinking, in a game that ended up 52-49?
It was
something like
it
that.
was
It was
like
Highest
the
spring game.
highest
highest
scoring
scoring game.
regular season game of all time, right?
And I
Or is it
changed.
just-
I took my jersey off 4 different times. I put it back on 4 different times,
You did.
as the ebbs and flows of the game would such go.
one of the most, I'll never
first
forget
is-
that. I'll never forget that moment. I want to relive that moment because that was amazing.
That was a solid moment.
I'm a big remote guy, so when things are good, I'm blasting that shit. And this 28-inch TV had a governor on it,
Just didn't
and
have
I
bandwidth
could
for
not
it, baby.
turn up. I could
It didn't
not
go
turn
up to 11. We
No.
needed to go up to 11.
It went up to 4.
The wives said they could hear us from the park.
3, 2, 1.
Tonight's golf picks are sponsored by Drinks in Your Bathroom. Whether you're enjoying a nice glass of wine as you get ready for a night out, pretending you're still 25, a refreshing shower cocktail as you take a moment for yourself away from the kids, or a beer on the toilet as you reflect upon last night's 3 a.m. Taco Bell order. Drinks in Your Bathroom have been with you through your highs, lows, and everything in between. So just remember, when life hands you lemons, make a lemon drop and head to your bathroom.
Oh, thank you.
Man,
Once
we just
again,
cleaned house on that.
drinks.
We are
drinks in the
absolutely
bathroom.
crushing. Manscaped, are you
Thank you,
paying
thank
attention
you.
to how fantastic these liners are? My God, how could you not throw money at us?
Bidet
Oh, I
today. Bidet today. Please listen.
Oh, couldn't we all use that?
Oh, all right. So the FedEx Cup is starting this week.
Yeah, what was I actually supposed to be talking about? All right,
So
golf.
explain
right?
the FedEx
Yeah,
Cup
golf.
for everyone. Real
Yeah.
You're
quick.
the golf
so,
guy,
ladies and
Chris. You're the
gentlemen,
golf guy.
So it is the end of the PGA season. The top 70 golfers in the PGA who have accumulated points across the entire season all get to compete. It's handicapped. So basically, depending on how many points you've scored, you get to be kind of ahead of the game. You get awarded extra strokes to start off. And so you kind of get a little bit of an advantage, but it winds up being such that like still you're kind of right amongst all of your competitions. So here are your red hot takes from the Juice Boys about the upcoming FedEx Cup as we do a little competition here. What do we want to put something on this? Kind of bottom two guys by the winner some sort of bottle of whiskey to enjoy in a future episode. Like make 3 picks, average your 3 picks, kind of top takes it.
I love gambling.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay. Let's take a look here. So according to CBS Golf, the top 5 are Scotty Scheffler, Rory, John Rahm, Patrick Cantlay, and Xander Schauffele. Yeah, I'm going to go with Rahm.
Are you? Okay, you're taking Rahm.
He's been electric. Yeah, he's the I don't know why he's not the odds-on favorite. Scotty hasn't been great with his putter. Him showing up with a brand new putter just tells me that he's overthinking that rather than trusting what gave him that electrifying season last year. I think Rahm has been fantastic. He is in the lead in the standings, and so I think he's got a slight leg up on Scheffler, but yeah, I think Rahm's getting it done this week.
You know what? Yeah. This is going to sound like a weird pick, but I was doing some, research on this and looking up and who's been hot and who's people are picking. And I'm going to take Tyrrell. How is it?
Tyrrell Hatton?
Tyrrell. Thank you. I can't pronounce his damn name. Tyrrell Hatton. I'm taking Tyrrell Hatton for this week.
I'm taking Xander Schauffele.
Love it.
He's consistent. He's always up there. He
gold
just needs
medal
the
winner.
Gold medal.
Just a fantastic, just such an easy guy to root for. He's fantastic.
Yep. All right, Chris, give me your middle of the road.
All right, so middle of the road, I gotta go with Ricky. Like even if I think there are some other golfers kind of in that list that are probably coming in more hot that have more momentum, I just want an excuse to root for Ricky. Dude is absolutely the storyline of this season, and I would love to see him close that gap.
All right, my middle of the road is gonna be Max Homa, 30-1. All right, I'm thinking I like the guy. I put some money on him at the U.S. Open because that was his home course. I think he's been playing well. He was looking strong in the Open, just kind of faded off a little bit, but I don't know. I think of middle of the road guy. I'm actually not expecting him to win by any means, but I could see him doing it. I'm taking Max Homa.
Taking Tony Finau again. I think he missed the cut last time I picked him, but I just like him when he's on. He's on. Taking Tony. Now the fun part. Who's the bottom feeders that we're picking? I don't know if I know any of these
bottom feeders. So with where we've put it, I got to go with Sepp Straka. Dude has been electric of recent. He's been putting together some absolutely insane rounds, some really just crazy numbers.
I'm going to take dude that just the same thing. When he's on, he is freaking on. Taking Keegan Bradley. I'm taking Keegan Bradley this weekend. This guy, he's probably got the biggest head of any golfer I've ever seen. He looks like Aaron Rodgers wearing a helmet.
He's just like a bobblehead doll out there.
I mean, it's remarkable. The size of his head is remarkable. So you got to think that he's got a good brain in there, and he can, and just
whether it's good or not, he's got a lot of space for it.
No, you're that. You got a thick cranium, But it's just he's got a big head. Big head. I think that's gonna translate to good golf.
I track you there, I guess.
Huge.
Of all the hot takes, that's the hottest. Went with the guy with the biggest, with the Mr. Mackey build.
Dude, it's got to be a size 8. I mean, like that thing. I've got a dome. I mean, I've got a big ass head. I've got a Ted Kennedy Irish head.
And you're a hell of a golfer.
Just like when you put a tie on, you're like, is your head going to pop off? But it's just so. But Keegan Bradley puts my head to shame. Good head, good score, good golf.
Let's go.
Put it on a t-shirt. I'm gonna take Lee Hodges. You wanna know why?
Sure.
Nope,
Zero
don't
reason
tell me.
why. None.
Oh, okay.
I like the name. Good name. Power name.
Powerful
Lee
name.
Hodges.
All right, I like it. Then if nobody picks the winner, then we do average.
That's fair.
Or do we roll it to next week?
Oh,
Double or nothing.
Joey likes to gamble.
I loved gambling. I lose a lot, but that doesn't stop me.
It shouldn't because you're passionate about it and you're following your dreams.
Well, gentlemen, is that it? Episode 3 in the books. Did we do it?
Episode 3 in
We're
the
gonna
books.
come back. We're gonna come back and look at this with, I hope, some sense of pride.
With bloodshot eyes.
Yeah.
With bloodshot eyes and inherited shame, we will look back on this with something.
I don't know if the demand could get any lower.
Let's go. Let's break 101.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
I was
appreciate
talking to our
everyone
listener earlier. Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next
Especially
week.
you, listener.
Shout out to
You
our
know who
friends
you are.
Ike and Bike, Sven, and everybody else. Love. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, we will see you all next week.